Hey guys, thank you for joining me today in the garage. We are going to be learning how to transfer a drawing from paper to metal in this video. You're going to need Cerl paper in the color of white. This paper comes in all different colors with the chalk on the back. We're going to be transferring a drawing to this red car, so I'm using a white Cerl paper to do so. I have expanded the little 26 drawing onto this sheet of paper, and we're going to transfer this exact number outline to the hood of this red Porsche. Alright, so before we do any transferring of the drawing to the car, we need to make sure that the surface that we're transferring the drawing on is clean and doesn't have any lint. So I just use Windex and a little bit of denatured alcohol that I've put in these 2 small spray bottles, and then of course just some paper towels. You can also go back through with like a terry cloth afterwards, or like a cheesecloth, and wipe the lint off, so that way you can be guaranteed that when you transfer your drawing over to the metal, you won't have any of those lint marks. So we're just going to clean this off. If you have an extra greasy surface or something that's been waxed before, you're going to want to use some wax and grease remover, but I suggest that you test the wax and grease remover under the hood on a painted area, so that you can be sure it won't transfer the paint from the car to the paper towel. Sometimes that stuff is really, really strong, so you just want to make sure that it's not going to do that. And what we're going to do is place this where we think looks best, and then I just take a very simplistic approach of using like old painter's tape. I usually like using an older roll of painter's tape because it's less tacky. You can really use any tape for this that's automotive related. I don't suggest using Scotch tape or anything like that. We're just gonna it's not very sticky, this painter's tape, so that's why I like using it, and it's cheap. And then you're just going to make sure you tape it on the top and on the bottom. Alright, and the importance of not pressing too hard, obviously, so that you're not going to be pulling the color of the car off with the tape. But you don't want to tape like, you don't want to take like a huge line of tape and tape it like this. You just want to do very minimal, tiny little pieces. Like, you can see how small this is. And that's just because we're going to have to go through, and you'll see here in a minute that we're going to need to get underneath this drawing. So we don't want to tape down all the corners. We just want to make sure that it's taped and it's on there solid enough so that it's not going to move left or right or up or down once we start to trace on the design. So the best thing about doing it this way with a template like this is that I just sent a picture of this 26 to my customer, and he actually wants it a little bit bigger and he wants it farther up. So I'm going to show you guys a very quick way on how I do this if I'm in my studio. He wants it right there with a little bit more pop, and so we're going to take this sketch and we're going to bring it into my studio, make a copy of it at a bigger size. What I really want to bring home with this type of a video is to show you why I do all of these preliminary sketches and why Cerl paper is such a wonderful tool. Is because when you're working on commission, we initially had this 26 down here by the chrome piece, and when I sent that to my client, he actually requested that it be moved up and actually made bigger, which was an initial misunderstanding when we had our first conversation about the design, which is not a negative thing. Like, sometimes those little tiny details like that don't get they don't get translated well in just face-to-face conversation. And I took the original drawing and I exploded it, expanded it on my computer copy machine, made it bigger, and then I retraced it onto a piece of tracing paper. So we have our pattern that's been hand-drawn on tracing paper, taped loosely to the surface where the design is going to be painted. And we're gonna take our box of white Cerl paper. This is what it looks like unrolled. On this side, you have a chalky texture, which you can see on my thumb. See the chalk that came off? That's on one side, and then on the other side is just like a regular paper that you can draw on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this paper with the chalk side down. So the chalk is on this side. It's gonna go against the surface that you're painting. And that's because whenever we start to trace out this line drawing, it will transfer everywhere our pencil touches onto the metal with chalk. So you're gonna see I just slide this underneath, and I'm just gonna do one number at a time. And then you're gonna just take a regular number 2 pencil, and because we're working on a car, you don't wanna press hard at all because it will definitely indent, especially if it's fresh paint. So we're just gonna go through and we're just going to outline everywhere where we have pencil marks that we want transferred onto the metal. A great tip here is that if you have problems with focusing on where you have overdrawn your lines, you can use a colored pencil here instead of a regular pencil, and that way you can see where you've traced all of your lines. We just took the chalk paper out, and now you can see we have a perfect number 6. It's a direct replica of what is on the hand-drawn sketch. All right, and now you can see we have a full number 26 right here. You can see all these little chalk smudges all over the paint. That's not gonna hurt the paint, it's just chalk. The reason I do this for all of my vehicle paintings, even if it's supposed to be like a loose sign writing number, is so that I can take a picture of this chalk outline and actually send it to my client, and he can say, okay, I love the placement, but I wish it was kicked to the right or the left a little bit more. And then guess what? It's as easy as taking a rag with some water and just wiping this off and starting over again. That is a huge benefit in the starting stages of working on a customer's project, because if they don't like it when you get the paint on there, it's time, labor, money, materials, all those things are out the window. So this is an awesome way to transfer your sketch onto a piece of metal, and just make sure and verify with your client as you move through the project that it's going to be exactly to their liking without a lot of effort and lost material on your behalf. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be linking all of my materials that I used in this video in the description below as well. So please let me know if you have any questions, and we'll catch you next time.